And respectfully, that was a cover of the theme song by Dan Rawlings. Thank you, Dan Rawlings, for sending that in to us to have a listen. I hope you don't mind. We thought we'd open the episode because it was bloody brilliant.
It was really good. Dan sent it us a couple of weeks back. He let us know that he's started a music course at college and he's got a little mini studio together and he's started making stuff. So we did a cover of our tune because he's very kind about liking it. So thanks for that, Dan. That was great.
If you want to hear the rest of it, of course, it'll be playing at the end of the episode.
Yes.
Where were we?
It's probably worth clarifying that you're not laughing at the theme.
That's
true.
That's just how we introduce the episode.
We should probably carry on with the laugh.
Yeah, because I need to hear the punchline.
Yeah, of course.
What is the punchline?
Then it said, "Can we have chocolate and tater tots?"
By the way,
Venom.
Dan Rawlings' music on SoundCloud. Now continue with the podcast.
Okie dokie. Welcome, ladies, lords, gentlemen, whiffs, waifs, and strafes, to another episode of Big Damn Cast. I am 18 of your worst nightmares, but not the ones you'd put in the top 20.
I am a fusion of human and symbiote.
Oh, that sounds wrong and painful.
It does sound wrong and painful.
But we're not alone.
We are, like aliens, like E.T. phone home.
We've picked up 3 parasites. And we mean that in the endearing way.
It's a compliment. It's
An actual line from the movie. I mean that in an endearing way. But they are eating our liver as we speak. From the marvellous side of the internet, please welcome 3 of the current 5 Who fans team. But there can be only one, so we will be forcing them to kill one another at the end of this episode.
That does include you, Chris, doesn't it?
Oh no, I'm absent. Yeah. I'm like the Beyonder. I watch these events
with the Watcher.
Yeah, it's a contest of champions, and I'm here just to observe. And what I observe now...
I'm just going to observe you right now.
...is the lovely Billy Tracy. Hello, Billy.
Hello.
Say hello to the people.
Hello.
Do it again.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Once, twice, 3 times a Billy.
The delectable Jonathan Hargreaves Granston. It's not your name, is it?
That's not my name.
John Granston, but it should be.
Hargreaves.
JHG.
What?
I'm going to get a coat of arms made for you. You have to have this.
So I was sitting there going, what shall I say I'm made of? And then I just get thrown off by...
We'll start as we mean to go on. As we mean to go on is a...
Jonathan Ask Jeeves grandson.
There we go.
Oh, please, no!
And he he's fresher than Bing. He's our president. If if he looks good, then we look good. He should have the flyest, the freshest planes. Viral sensation and possible future murderer, Dan Sherritt. Hello, Dan.
Hello. Who's Bing?
Bing Crosby.
Bing.
Old singer.
Yeah, I was thinking more the search engine, but if you want to go Bing.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What, the search engine that Spider-Man uses in that Spider-Man movie?
I feel like
the scientific genius Spider-Man uses Bing.
He does.
Very good.
But you know what he doesn't use? I'm asking if anyone knows what he doesn't use.
Physics.
Fine.
One thing I was impressed by Venom.
John,
you've not even started talking about the movie yet.
John. The episode which...
I've been meaning to say this for about a week and I keep forgetting it, but now it's in my head, which is it's the first Sony movie I've seen where they don't do constant Sony product placement.
True.
People in that world use other devices.
Well.
But the...
story devices? No.
Yeah.
Sequel devices.
He's got one of those.
Yeah.
That's true.
He does.
That's true.
Yeah, he does have a Mac, doesn't he?
And it really stuck out to me because I was like, but that should be a Sony Fire.
Because it's just Tom Hardy's Mac. It's just his
They just put a
MacBook.
camera in his San
It's
Francisco
like
apartment.
all of his costume is just his clothes. That's just his motorbike.
Just Tom Hardy's clothes, but damp.
Yeah.
For those wondering at home why these fine gentlemen have joined us and why there's so much moif and nonsense, it's simply because last week we were all together for a lovely occasion, and
It was Chris's bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it was my bris. Dan sharpened the scalpel. John held me down.
It's all right, Christopher. I've been through it. It's fine.
There were several of us together in one locale, and as the evening began to wrap up, there were lovely drinks and dreams and thoughts and whatnots and whiffles. You all brought up the topic of Venom, and you said, "Have you seen it yet?" And I was like, "No, I've been quite busy this week, sort of getting home and sleeping, and
Been quite
preparing
busy,
for
yeah.
reception,
Getting
Getting married.
all that stuff." But the instant reaction then, as a collective, because it was you three and Phoenix, who all at the same time went, "You've got to see it, though. You really have to see it," in a way that captured my heart. Because at this point, I wasn't like. We were going to see it, weren't we? Like,
We were going to have to talk
We-
about it this week, regardless.
We host
yeah.
a pop culture podcast of nonsense and bollocks, but
Venom's been getting so much buzz, for good or bad, that we would never not going to be able to talk about it.
didn't mean I was looking forward to it. And then I saw your reaction, which was a mix of "you will have a great time" and "we would like to know what you think of this," which usually implies "this is dreadful. Please give us your thoughts on it." So today, the year of our Lord, Wednesday the 17th of October,
You remember this date for the rest of your life.
bloody well will, Billy Kins took Matthew and myself to the Kennemois to see...
By force.
Yes, forcibly.
I did say to you, it's a terrible movie. You're gonna love it.
And I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I was very excited because this is the first time I think I've seen a superhero movie before Chris.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
we've seen a few together, but you've always watched it on the night of release.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think the last few times we went to the cinema before you moved into our turf was
Black Panther.
Welcome
Panther,
to
and
Turf.
I've seen it twice already, I think, at that point. I've seen it on the night of release and then I've seen it with my brother. A Batman movie last year, we had a similar thing.
Oh, that was good.
Guardians 2, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, partly out of obligation due to Big Damn Cast, I try and see stuff that we can release so we can talk about it when everyone is sort of good in their mind. And partly because I've got an Odeon Limitless card, and I'm like, oh, go on, let's go see it.
I mean, it's always on my mind.
You're always on my mind.
You were always on my mind.
Tell me what you thought of Venom. Segues. But yeah, I wasn't in a rush to see this for practical reasons, but also just because I was like, do I want to? I know how bad this is going to be.
Yeah.
I didn't realise I was going to enjoy how terrible it was.
Yeah, this
Quite so much.
make no bones about it. Venom is hot garbage.
It is dumpster fire deliciousness.
It is absolute dog shit.
Go see it now.
It has no structure. There's a huge swath of the plot missing.
Yes.
What plot there is boring. The effects are bad.
Yes.
It's not particularly interestingly directed or shot. But there's just such a glee in how terribly it's all been put together.
Yeah, it's John, you summed it up beautifully before we recorded. You said it was like watching a train crash in slow motion, watching all the parts
whirring away, trying to do something, but you know it's too late because it's already off kilter and heading very slowly towards the water.
So the best thing you can do really is admire what's happening.
Yeah, it's just sit back, relax, and Venom.
Watch Venom just happen in front of you.
Go watch Venom.
It's beautiful, like an explosion is beautiful.
Yes, you don't want to be anywhere near it.
No.
But you have to watch it.
Yes.
But there's a fondness, I think, as well. I don't know how much of that is what we've kind of added to it ourselves.
Oh, no, because you'd be indicating there that there's subtext, but this film is all text.
And huge chunks of it are missing.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
lot of that text is just not there.
I still remember, the first thing I think I said to you guys when we walked out of the cinema last week was, it's the best film of 2004.
Yeah. I think the common sentiment amongst us is if this movie had come out in that early... in that early period of of superhero boom, so like between 97 when Blade came out and 2004 when you got things like Spider-Man 3,
Elektra's on the horizon, and
another Avi Arad vanity project that was terrible. Then people would have looked at this movie and gone, that's pretty good. That was, but
we've since learned what this genre can be on the big screen,
and it's
formulaic
really
but beautiful, character-led and spectacular and fun, more importantly.
This thing can't even manage to be formulaic because it's just not all there.
Well, it is based on one formula. It's based on the formula written on the back of a napkin, probably, by exec producer Avi Arad, who's an exec producer at Sony Pictures.
And all he's written on the napkin is the word moist.
He's not even written the word moist, he's just
dribbled on it. Oh, yeah.
Put it between his lips and just gone... With a little bit, gently.
We've delved into Avi Arad before, but...
Why?
The long and the short of it, basically, is the guy was the head of Toy Biz, the company that saved Marvel from bankruptcy in the early 90s through merchandising.
Yeah.
And then he had a big sway in saying what they did going forward. He was very fond of Venom and Carnage, the Spider-Man villains.
I bet...
And he would push them into every project.
If you ask Avi Arad, tell me 3 things about Venom and or Carnage.
Well, they've got a cool and unique look, and they are very popular in the 90s. They sold a lot of toys.
Tell me what makes Venom compelling as a character, Avi.
He's the look. Look at him. The look is so amazing. The look. Look at him.
It's the boner he has for Eddie Brock.
Yeah. Well. He now has.
The sweet, sweet love story.
Avi Arad has pushed for Venom so hard that he forced Venom and the symbiote into Spider-Man 3 against Sam Raimi's wishes. Forced that parasite up its bum.
Oh, he's got one up his ass as well.
Yeah, and there it was. And the results speak for itself. Spider-Man 3 is the most messed up of those 3. It's clearly sort of been derailed by something, and that something is the subplot of the movie, the black suit and the eventual Venom thing. And
I think all the bad stuff in that movie stems from the black suit Venom plotline. Some of
the intentionally and accidentally charming things from that movie come from that as well.
I mean, one of the big problems that movie has is the sudden exposition butler.
Yes,
which is only necessary.
The blade that pierced his body came from his trailer.
Only 2 films ago.
It's only that is only necessary because so much of the film is taken up by Venom bollocks.
That's this film. This film's got the Venom bollocks.
Also, yes, this one. But they have to compress the actual story that Sam Raimi wanted to tell into that.
Yeah, each wanted to tell a story with Sandman, Harry Osborn, and maybe the Lizard. So he had to get rid of one of them and make that film. But Avi Arad was determined.
Yeah.
There was talk immediately after Spider-Man 3 of a Venom spin-off, despite Eddie Brock and the symbiote being killed at the end of Spider-Man 3 by an explosion.
Also, it being really bad.
Yeah, that too. My spider sense is tingling, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, Christ. Then the Amazing Spider-Man series comes along, and immediately there is talk, again in Sony, of there being a Venom movie, spearheaded by Avi Arad. At this point, a very angry Avi Arad, because his protege has now gone on to completely run Marvel Studios and make it a massive success. In 2012, Avi Arad's The Amazing Spider-Man is a thing, whilst Kevin Feige's Avengers Assemble is the biggest thing since sliced Captain America.
How much of Kevin Feige's outlook and approach was just going, what did Avi do? Oh, yeah. Right, I'm not going to do that.
I wouldn't be surprised. He definitely learned from him. He learned what not to do.
Yeah.
Basically.
And a wise man learns from a fool's mistakes.
Yeah, but Avi Arad is that's pretty good. Did you get that a fortune cookie?
Yes, it was the fortune cookie we got today. The one that also said, "You have no future."
Oh my god!
you missed a lot today, John.
I tell you what?
It's been a day.
It was beautiful in many ways. But yeah, so Avi Arad he's a persistent fool, alas, and he's always forced it. You can apparently glimpse the Venom symbiote in the closing scenes of Amazing Spider-Man 2 amongst what Matt referred to as the pick an origin closet or something.
Yeah, the room of many origins.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was,
a trailer of a man with a stick walking past the doctor.
Yeah. I think,
it's-
if I remember correctly, it's like the vulture wings, the Doc Ock arms, the rhino suit,
there's some nondescript jars and tanks in the
nondescript
back,
goo in a jar, Norman Osborn's head in a jar.
which didn't make the final cut, but there are photos of
It's
it.
in there.
Who's Norman Osborn again?
Chris Cooper.
Chris Cooper in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Harry Osborn's dad, who's dying of the disease.
Goblinitis.
That's
Yeah.
actually turning him into a Green Goblin.
Yeah.
So rather than actually having him be the Green Goblin.
The implication being that they were going to bring Norman back as a severed head, probably attached to a mech suit, and he would be the Green Goblin.
That would
because
have been excellent.
These films are the worst thing.
No,
They're so bad.
let him do all of the films.
Well, here's the thing.
I will watch all of that man's films.
Avi Arad has tried to be involved in as many things as
So
possible.
bad.
The Spider-Man projects he's at arm's length with, in terms of the creative side of it,
Yeah.
are Into the Spider-Verse. I believe he is credited on that as an exec producer,
Which
but
looks
he's not
great.
He's not touched that.
Coincidence.
Sony Pictures Animation and their guys have been spearheading that.
Yep.
But the other one was Spider-Man: Homecoming. His contractual stuff means that he should be an exec producer for any Spider-Man movie. However, Kevin Feige put up every possible barrier he could, and as a result,
Let's keep Abby as far away from this as possible.
Homecoming is the most sort of, a cut and dry, clean, enjoyable Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
As a result,
It's the best.
because
It's
of
the best
that.
Spider-Man they've made since 2.
Subjective. I'd agree, but others would fight you to the death, sir.
Like Dan.
Yeah, Dan would kill you.
You'd be wrong, Dan. Sorry.
Sorry, just for Dan, just for this. How many times did you see The Amazing Spider-Man 2 at the cinema?
It was only 3.
Were you
Dan.
trying to spot the Venom symbiote in the
I wanted
lab?
to see it. Where is it?
Dan nearly single-handedly saved the Amazing Spider-Man series.
If you just watched it one more time,
yeah.
there would have been a third film.
If you
£10.
must be masochistic, Dan, there are quicker and cheaper ways to cause yourself serious injury. You know what I mean?
If there's anything you take away from this week's episode, folks,
Take it from me.
Don't watch The Amazing Spider-Man 3 times. 2.
Where you'll get the
Don't watch
Sims
either of them 3 times.
Don't watch any Spider
boy.
Boy films.
Definitely don't watch Spider-Boy. Ooh.
Boy.
Ooh, that goes places.
well, I'm confused. All I'll say is, Avi Arad has finally gotten his every wish. And
Do you think that he was like, I want to make it, and Marvel were like, all right, you do that, we'll do the next Spider-Man Home movie.
well, we'll get to this toward the end, but
That's wrapped, by
the
the way,
future of this
Spider-Man.
wrapped today. The future of this franchise is in an odd, very Sony beneficial direction as of this week.
It's been doing pretty well.
But in terms of the future of this extended Spider-Man universe and the success of Venom, Sony may be able to make a play to take back their toy.
Possibly.
So we'll get into that later. I don't want to start on a down note, but I will say this:
I want to get into it now.
we were describing before, like, I was trying to sum up to Billy, like, what I think all of this has led to, and I'm going to be graphic. I think it's
Oh, please.
the best way
Please,
to.
I love graphics.
Venom the movie
It'd be
exists.
more graphic than the film.
Venom the movie exists so that Avi Arad can finally say that the Venom movie exists, and I guarantee this past weekend he took home the cinema ticket from the first screening he attended.
I know
public
where
screening,
this is going.
went into the executive bathroom at Sony Pictures, jerked off into it, folded it into an origami swan, left it by the sink, and walked out of the bathroom proud that he could finally say, I did it.
I did it.
I jerked off onto a Venom ticket. The film exists. So I
What?
could use it to clean up my leavings.
Cuts back to the executive bathroom. You hear a flush, and out wanders Stan Lee.
Looking exhausted.
And he's
Looking very tired.
and he washes his hands. He's like, "Oh man, I'm so tired. This isn't a good Stan Lee voice."
Strange for Stan to say that, but
My Stanley voice is bad today.
And then he goes to pick up. He goes, "Oh look, an origami
Oh no!
thing," and he gets it all over his hands.
I thought he'd be looking for a tissue.
Yeah.
This one is already wet.
Yes.
Oh god! Well, now that we've literally spunked into the hands of Stan Lee,
Oh
what
no!
we're going to do is we're going to chat for about 10 minutes.
and then
Spoiler
that's
free.
it, and then it's
That's
over.
it, that's the entire
We'll chat
podcast.
for 10 minutes spoiler free, just in case there are folks out there who want to know a bit more, but are thinking I might go and watch it.
Go and watch it now.
If you think you want to know a bit more about Venom without spoilers, you don't. You just need to watch it and then come back and listen to this.
Yeah.
But
Do you need to
but
watch
then
it
after
though? I don't
that,
know if I can.
Yes.
after that we'll let loose because I think we need to talk about this in
I
depth.
don't know if I can, in all good faith, recommend that you pay to see this film, but I cannot condone.
Oh no, I want
piracy.
to trick as many people as possible.
If you
into
have a
watching this film.
Trick.
If
He means
I mean, recommend.
There we
yes.
if you have a Limitless card or a Cineworld card or whatever, go crazy.
Oh, I have a Limitless card.
I do have a
I
Limitless
didn't
card.
see it with Limitless. I saw it at View.
Oh, why?
I was forced to spend an extra £5, and it was worth it.
Oh no!
You're an equal distance on foot to both versions of the cinema.
Glowing recommendation from Dan there.
it's because we had a buy one get one free,
Oh,
and so I
right.
got him for free. That was technically like my birthday present.
Ah, you
Was it the
poor
greatest birthday
bastard.
present you've ever received?
I had many interesting things happen on my birthday.
One of which was Doctor Who.
One of which was indeed the Doctor of Who.
The Monument Ghost. Or was it the one before?
No,
that?
no, it was the one.
Oh, that was
That's
your
from Chris Chibnall's birthday present to John.
Thank you, Chris.
So,
I know
did
he
you remember
listens.
to write back?
I just thanked him here on the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a regular
He
listener.
listens.
Yeah.
If he is listening, can you freaking send me those pictures from the CBBC Summer Social, please? You took my number. You said you were going to.
If he is
Really
listening,
annoying. I want them. They were funny pictures. One of the two of us with Hacker. It was great.
if you are listening, Chibbers,
Yeah.
give us a job. I can do that.
If you're listening, Chibbers,
All of it.
Give us a job.
don't fuck it up. Old boy, old bean, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, good luck with Rose. Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
If you want our thoughts on the Ghost Monument, forget it. But if you want their thoughts on the Ghost Monument, 5 Who fans, there's
Well,
a
it's alright.
discussion
Well,
episode.
you can just sit by silently whilst you two discuss it for
Yeah.
a bit.
No.
well, we need to talk about Venom first.
Oh, sorry.
Venom
Let's
more
get Venom out of the way.
important.
Let's stay on topic.
Right.
Spoiler-free thoughts.
Spoiler free, it's good. Okay, let's move on to spoilers.
Let's start surface level. Tom Hardy. What the hell's going on
What
with
is
Tom
Tom
Hardy?
doing in this?
He's playing drunk for most of the film, but I'm also not convinced he isn't actually drunk.
Is it weird that when you just said Tom Hardy and I'm thinking of Venom as well, I instantly just thought of like a giant gummy bear.
Why?
And that's my review of Tom Hardy in this film. There's something about his performance that is like a gummy bear.
No, Sky Mobile is different.
Which... Right, okay. You're an animation guy. Are
Hello.
we talking Gummy Bears, the animated show, or just the
No.
big squishy sweets?
Big squishy sweets.
Okay, just checking.
The actual giant gummy bear.
Yeah.
My next question, what?
When you said Tom Hardy in
Yeah.
this film and I was thinking of Venom, for some reason my brain went gummy bear. And then my brain just composited a perfect shot of where Tom Hardy should be walking down the street looking sullen. Instead of that, it's just a gummy bear squeaking down the street.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Pre-packaged sandwich and a bottle of Pepto-Bismol in its hand.
I mean, he is rubbery yet moist in this movie.
I
Yes,
immediately
yes.
emphasised.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
You'll find him in a bag of Haribo.
That's why my brain's misfiring.
Was it a misfire or was it a direct hit?
Into the Tom Hardys.
Hard to tell these days.
Right into the Hardys.
His entire makeup process in this movie is just somebody splash him from the collarbone up with water.
He was very wet in this.
There's a lovely, kind of triangle.
Oh, yeah. Very sweaty man.
But he never gets sweaty under his armpits, I've noticed. It's always around his neck.
He has very good deodorant, but he only puts it on under his armpits. He's actually... Tom Hardy is unique amongst most men in that all of his sweat pores are in his chest. He's done so much, bodybuilding and weight loss that his skin has stretched at a point where his armpits are where his nipples should be. So all of his sweat emanates from that area on his body, and he's completely smooth under his arms. He has to actually get little armpit wigs.
He's Bronson smooth to this day. It's sort of...
It's really allowed the merkin industry to branch out.
I think that he was telling the absolute truth the other week. We put a poll about this on our Twitter last week, actually, and the vote was overwhelmingly in favour of him telling the truth. Because a few weeks ago he was asked in an interview, what's your favourite thing about this movie? And he said the 40 minutes they've cut out of it.
and they've definitely cut 40 minutes out of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I think he was way invested in this. It's not a phoned-in performance, but it's the Tom Hardy turning into the new Johnny Depp type thing.
Yeah.
It's like, Johnny Depp, what funny hat can he wear this time? Tom Hardy, what funny voice and walk can he have this time?
He's definitely having fun with it.
Yeah, oh God, he's having a blast. When he settles
got
down
so
to
many
the,
walks in
When he
this.
settles down to the yoga, he walks like some kind of creature. This is before he's infected. Like, this is just him in some pajamas.
He's just limping and hobbling around everywhere like a little old Tom Hardy.
Is there going to be a twist that he was already infected by something else?
He's already infected by just having broken everything.
Would that be how... Spoilers. But would that be how someone else...
The next symbiote
gets created?
Or by someone
Yeah,
hobbling.
maybe.
Someone hobbling around.
That's why I'm thinking of gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Because
Eating livers, biting off heads.
The Tom Hardy waddle.
yeah.
Are you suggesting that he shits out a symbiote?
He does look like...
I mean, he does. He did this up his ass.
He does look like he's
Remember,
crapped
shit's-
himself in some of these shots.
Shit's not a swear word, guys.
It's just, shit isn't a swear word.
Use it liberally.
Imagine getting offended when someone bleeps out this word shit on a children's YouTube channel. Imagine being such a fucking edgelord.
Gloves off. Anyway,
It's 2018. Edgelords are still a threat.
This film is made for edgelords. It
So,
very much is.
That 40 minutes that were cut, by the way.
Yeah.
Because there is no second act in this.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the second act, you're not getting it.
This isn't a film for you.
I'm now imagining people going to the cinema. My favourite thing is the second act.
Not the climax.
I don't like anything else.
I love the middle bit.
And I will leave when I realise Act 3 has started.
God, that committed. Just sort of like, oh, can you feel it?
So-
Can you feel it?
so
the
fans-
heroes at their lowest moment. I'm off. I'll see you later. everyone.
Fans of the second act, not the film for you.
Not for you, sir.
I think it was Phoenix who
sorry.
pointed that out.
Yeah,
because
it's one of
Phoenix
Phoenix's
saw it with us.
observations.
Oh gosh, yeah. Bless him, Phoenix. He would be here today, but he,
We ate him.
yes.
His liver was juicy and tasty.
Yes, douchey liver.
Guys, it's a special guest.
Alright, guys.
It's Venom.
Yeah, definitely Venom. Awkward.
Hashtag orcs.
How do you feel the movie turned out, Venom?
Sexy.
Nice.
I got to kiss Tom Hardy.
Cool. Can we get you anything while you're here?
Chocolate.
Okay.
Pop
Spoilers. Spoilers, Venom.
Sorry, guys.
I saw several.
The best bit were the 2 hours that were cut. I filmed it specially in my trailer.
It was actually 3 films. But they edited it into one. It was like Justice League, but twice.
Well, oh God, I saw several reviews last week saying that this movie did a disservice to its actors. I would agree with that for Michelle Williams and Riz Ahmed. I don't think they were given very much to work with.
Almost nothing.
To the point where they came across kind of crap in this film.
But yeah, because none of what they do makes much sense.
Yeah.
And not even in like a plot, inverted commas, plot hole sort of way.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense narratively.
They've approached this certain ways.
Yeah.
And we're seeing what the film's decided we need to see.
Yeah.
Probably missing out whole chunks. Probably using takes that just thematically don't feel right. I don't know. But the one actor I don't feel is disserviced by this movie is Tom Hardy, because afterwards it looks like he's annoyed about it, but during it, it's like, no, he's invested.
He's clearly loving it.
yeah.
He's showing up to play Sweaty Man.
Oh.
Sweaty. Sweaty.
We not making the Sweatman movie? Is this not what this is?
I like how, like, at one point he changes his shirt and then just gets sweaty again, like almost immediately.
Instantly sweaty.
There's no point in him really changing.
Oh, we should get in the car, Eddie.
Does he actually change his shirt?
Yeah, when he's in the car.
It's that moment, yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Shit,
does he have a different shirt on in
there's
the
like
next scene, or is it just...
He just puts a jumper on, I think.
Okay, good.
I mean, I'm
He says he's cold, doesn't he? He says he's cold.
Cold and
'cause
wet.
he's wet from swimming in the river. See, I'm the Venom expert in this room because I have seen it twice.
The Vexpert.
Bird.
You guys have all seen it just the once, and I'm...
I think I'm good with that.
You're right.
You are.
We are cretins.
And Billy is the titular cursed child.
Emphasis on tit.
Ooh.
Sorry, we've got to bleep the
Wait a
tit.
minute. Bleep those tits. I mean, if you were a fan of Venom as a Spider-Man villain, this is not the movie for you because it's got nothing to do with Spider-Man or being a villain, really. If you're a fan of that extended Venom stuff from the 90s, you'll probably have a field day in some way getting references. And if you like Tom Hardy because you fancy him and you like watching films where he's in it and you're like, ooh, I love Tom Hardy, probably not going to get much out of this either.
No
Really
shirtless Tom
sweaty
Hardy
and
in this,
sneezing.
is
You're better off going back to Inception.
Yeah.
Oh.
John pouted there for our
Very good.
visually impaired listeners. John,
I'm not laughing at blind people.
I am.
So, rated 300 bigger, darling. That's the greeniest line he's ever done.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yes, Tom Hardy.
I think.
Dan, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I think you need to offer up.
Tell me, Dan.
Tell me, Dan Miguel. Tell me tales of El Diablo.
AKA
You're a man of taste when it comes to film, and by taste,
As we've already
Even
proved
though
today.
we've established, I've seen Amazing Spider-Man 3 times.
what? Right. What's your first takeaway of Venom? What is you came out of that first screening?
After spending £5 I usually go in. Yes, free.
What the hell was coursing
Right,
through
okay.
your veins at
So-
that moment?
It's weird because Matt was mentioned very briefly about a Justice League. Justice League and Venom, I think, are almost the same level of bad.
Yeah.
But I came out of Justice League really bored.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah. Whereas I came out of Venom elated, just like...
Just thankful to be alive.
I
Oh shit, I made it through.
I feel like I experienced the birth of something truly incredible.
Incredible in the classical sense, as in lacking all credibility.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hey, I'm not
Power
disagreeing with you there.
power to you, sir.
Yeah.
Power
I
to
mean,
you.
it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I loved every second of it. Apart from maybe some bits at the start. As soon as I'll be honest, as soon as I hear the words, everybody loves the Eddie Brock show, I'm immediately invested in this truly incredible masterpiece.
He's not wrong!
That moment.
Can I just say, the bit that I realised I was having a laugh, the bit where I realised I was really enjoying the film, was when the smoke turned into the name of the film, and I realised I was actually watching the film and there's no going back now. And I started to laugh in the chair. I was like, oh no. I just kind of shook for a minute, thinking about that visual.
Wait.
Dan, you're on point.
Dan, does everybody love the Eddie Brock show, or does everybody love the Brock Report? Which is it?
What do you mean, Brock Files?
Eddie and Friends.
The Daily Brock.
Eddie and pals.
Don't forget to support me on Patreon. I have to buy a lot of chocolate now.
Smash that like button, guys. Hit subscribe and the little bell.
With his tiny notepad.
Yeah, with his little
And
tiny
his
notepad.
big motorcycle.
What about the road?
Sorry, Eddie what? I'm surprised half of the time in this with the people that he's interviewing are not going, What? Do you think he's just taken down most of these people through confusion?
No, he's a bad guy.
It's amazing how he takes out these big business people just by confusing them to quitting.
Didn't you used to be Eddie Brock? Used to be.
What? He's gonna go now.
Sorry. Who wrote this?
Have a drink.
I'm gonna give $20 to a homeless lady because I'm a good man.
I'm a good man. I have good bones.
Hey,
But I'm broke as shit.
the world's had enough superheroes, unless your definition of not a superhero is a superhero with teeth.
Well,
Because this movie is another one of those. It's about a villain, but we only know how to tell stories about good guys, so inevitably this villain is a good guy.
so
Because reasons, and there's no one for him to be villainous against.
well,
To establish that he's a villain.
So he's just trying to do Suicide Squad.
Yes, which of course, what was the plot of that? Oh, these are the worst people ever. Oh, but they're actually kind of alright, really, when it comes down to the good and evil side of things. Oh, they've saved the day.
Suicide Squad had a plot?
Apparently.
I was just about to say that. Like, all I remember is lots of music videos.
It was the story of an Australian man and his established and reinforced love of his pink unicorn teddy that then wasn't the thing that blocked a bullet that killed him.
I mean, I'm not going to profess to be a
Unicorn.
great or
Unicorn.
even
Something
competent
stop the
writer,
knife?
but
Cash.
I know and I've read and seen and experienced enough scripts. I've done enough fucking acting to know that when you set something up narratively,
Chekhov's gun.
fucking pay it off.
now I don't know if you know this, but if someone introduces a gun at the start of the script
Yeah.
and uses it later,
Yeah.
then that gun's going to go off
Yeah.
by the end of the.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Like it's just a basic fucking rule of narratives.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
I've just dunked someone on your podcast and they'll never know.
That's alright, I'll send it their way.
Do you know what it is? No jokes aside, but that whole framing rule, the direction of this is flat as balls, but there was one bit when he first arrives at his apartment and he walks through and the shot holds on the doorway just for a bit too long. He's off kilter and the central focus is the knife rack on the wall. And then he moves to the window and it's in focus. The knife rack behind him is in focus. And I'm like, alright, they're reminding us that knife rack's there. Maybe for that scene we saw in the trailers where people are attacking the kid. No, it doesn't come to play.
No.
Well, no, because it's important in that scene because you're like, oh, look at the knives.
He's got to water the plant.
He's got Sony branded knives.
He's got sweet knives.
He's got sweet knives and a bunch of tater tots in the freezer, son.
That shot of the knives is the payoff. You're like, oh, it's knives.
Some of that early stuff.
What a knife
Establishing
shot.
shots they might be interesting character stuff if A, there was a character, and B, the first act of this movie wasn't so fucking long.
It takes forever.
It takes ages to get going.
It made me think of that first. Is it like the first Hulk film they did, where it's like,
Yeah,
the Ang
until
Lee
the Hulk
one.
actually turns up.
I had that on DVD.
It's not very good.
That was like
Sweet
I
innocent
remember
John.
waiting in the cinema, going, "When's the big green monster showing
I'll
up
say
already?"
this for Hulk. It was ambitious.
what
He was trying to do something with it.
And started a trend of there being corrupted or infected dogs in superhero movies. Specifically ones featuring the Hulk.
Hey, you want to get
weird.
some...
Venom.
Venom.
I was-
This poodle's got venom eyes.
My favourite
It's
thing-
like the mask, but shit. Venom.
You wait until you see the music video.
Oh, okay.
I'll put that on after.
My favourite. Sorry, I'm just talking about the Hulk for a second.
No, please do.
One of my
Please do.
favourite things is there's a moment where the bad guy is running away from an explosion, and it freeze frames and and outlines him, and then all of the panels of the comic and it's
Yeah,
transitions.
the composition stuff that he was trying in that was really interesting.
That's
It just
like
didn't
really
fit.
cool. But yeah, the rest of it's like,
Yeah.
It didn't fit the fact that he wanted to tell an intense family drama about legacy. And
it goes on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Is that a baddie?
Yeah, they make... It's Nick Nolte, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a daddy.
He's David Banner, Bruce's father, and he's been irradiating Bruce since an early age. And he's also the absorbing man, sort of. It's so dumb. It's
not very good.
But enough about Venom.
But no, wait, that's Hulk.
I get so confused.
It's infected.
I was going to say, what year did Hulk come out? 2003?
2003.
Yeah, this film feels like it should have been out then.
It feels like it.
15 years out of
It
sync.
wouldn't surprise me if this was a script that had been knocking around since before then, that they just tarted up a little to make it modernise it with
Eddie doesn't have a camera, he has a cell phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that sort of stuff.
He's always had a tiny note.
Got some pictures on here, look at this shithead.
Retooling the villain to be a bit more overtly a pastiche of Elon Musk and
yes.
stuff like that.
Do you know what? Let's pass this dish. I'm tired. Let's talk spoilers.
Let's talk spoilers.
Oh, it's so horny! It's so horny!
Wait a second.
This is a lusty movie. Well, there's not going to be time codes on this. It's one big Venom discussion.
Okay.
So,
Is it a lusty movie though?
yes, it's
Oh
a
my
horny
God,
film.
Venom has got a hard-on for a human man.
I can barely contain myself.
Oh, quite literally. Because at the end he's like, "Oh no, you why are you going to stay away fighting for us?" It's like, "You changed me, Eddie."
You!
What do you mean you changed me? He tried to kill you like 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, he got over that very quickly.
That's why you can tell that there's so much of this film missing, is because Venom just goes from like, yeah, we're going to get on that rocket, bring down the rest of the symbiotes, we're going to eat this planet, it's going to be great, to going, oh no, I don't want to stop the other symbiote from going up and bringing all the symbiotes back and eating the planet because I like it here.
Right, so
Also, I'm a bit of a nerd too.
I'm a loser on my planet as well.
Hey, Venom! How you doing, Venom?
Hi,
Hi, Venom.
I'm back.
Where was the second act, Venom?
What?
Did you eat the second act, Venom?
Baby.
Oh, Venom.
What's a
listen.
second?
Everyone knows that on the Venom planet, 3 comes after 1.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Is that how their film classes go on the Venom planet?
Yeah.
Right, can we talk about the fact that it was called Venom? The symbiote was called Venom.
It
The
wasn't
other one was
named-
called Riot. Yeah.
Yes. I
Like
lost
they have
my
names.
shit when that happened because I was... It's one of those moments... You know that gif of the polite blinking man?
Yeah.
It was a moment of just, my name is Venom.
Yeah, polite blinking ensues.
Oh, sorry, you are just called that. That's not something you come up with later.
You're not going to go along the whole thing of like it's an infection, like poison, like a venom.
Well,
You're not
he's
going to go along with that. It's
he's
just called Venom.
instantly against being called a parasite,
Yeah.
which
Does
is
not like that word.
adorable.
And also, if you didn't have him called Venom, then you wouldn't have the amazing line of dialogue, "Get in the rocket, Venom!"
This might just, with us here, it might just turn into us shouting our favourite quotes.
I'm sorry about Venom.
Listen, Eddie, I'm sorry about Venom.
He doesn't know we're going to get him back, Like, no, she's clearly not in. She's moved on.
She's totally moved on.
You're not getting her
got
back.
Such a better guy now.
Oh, Dan's so good.
We love Dan so much.
He
Dan's
helped
lovely.
save your life.
This is
And
like
was
one of the first
instantly
times.
nice. He wasn't arsey or
No,
rude
he wasn't.
about it.
He wasn't a prick.
lovely.
It's like a Ty Burrell in Incredible Hulk. It was just
like playing bloody Samson.
yeah.
He's Doc Samson. Phil, what's
And
Phil
another-
Dunphy from
another thing
from
they've never
Modern
done
Family
anything
in Incredible Hulk as a Hulk character.
What I kind of
He was just in it for a bit.
what I kind of appreciated about this is that it took the trope of the new boyfriend and kind of subverted it a little.
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
By making him a really nice guy, but also making Eddie Brock kind of like him.
Yeah.
He's never negative towards him. Like, oh, Dan's there on the phone too. Oh, hey, Dan.
He's like, oh, hey, Dan, yeah. It's like, oh, I thought it was a private call, but I'm totally fine with Dan.
Yeah,
being here on the phone.
Dan's cool. You know, he's only trying to save my life and everything.
Not you, Dan.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, Dan. We got your hopes
You're
up
the
there, Dan.
bad Dan.
You're bad, Dan.
You're a bad Dan.
You're a bad
Am I a good Dan?
Now you just made me want to go home and watch Jenny Nicholson videos for 3 hours. Thanks.
How is that different from your normal evening?
Oh, yeah, cool.
Any other bases we need to cover here? Venom-wise?
All of them.
Absolutely.
so much
so.
He's got shit you wouldn't believe.
Christ, that was a line of dialogue in the movie. So, for those who've not seen it and don't care about spoilers, here's the basic rundown of the plot. Venom is about Eddie Brock as a reporter who gets disgraced when he uses his law firm fiance's contacts to learn about illicit human trials that are being done by this company. What are they called? Hope? Who's the Hope?
Life Foundation.
The Life Foundation, which is from the Lethal Protector shit from the 90s.
I've never read Lethal
That's
Protector.
where Riot's from. It's
You know why I've
terrible.
never read Lethal Protector? Because Venom's not a very good character.
I've read it, and Avi Arad sleeps under sheets of it knitted into a duvet.
Man.
These were the Venom solo books from the 90s. They're terrible. Okay. After two It's Stories of Spider-Man, he thinks Spider-Man's dead, so he goes to San Francisco and basically becomes a vigilante.
It's called Lethal Protector. That tells you everything you need to know about the tone of the story.
Yeah, basically the symbiote's well, we did what we came to do, which is kill Spider-Man and for ruining our lives, Eddie. So let's go do some good shit. Let's save people. Yeah. And Eddie's like, yeah, okay. And there's a whole thing with the government organisation and symbiotes being used as government weapons, including one of 5 called Riot, who's not a prominent symbiote at all in the comics, but he is in this for reasons because they didn't want to use Carnage straight away.
Oh no, they've got the Carnage. We'll ace in the hole.
We'll get to that bastard in shit nonsense bullfuckery. So Eddie's disgraced, and then cut 6 months later for no reason other than a bit of time progression for some stuff that could easily just be established as being a few weeks later or whatever.
Yes.
Human trials are continuing, and Carlton Blake, the head of this company, is killing homeless people by subjecting them to symbiote bonding with these samples they've got. So Eddie's sent in to investigate it again, and a symbiote bonds with him, and then they team up to try and take down Carlton Blake and stop what turns out to be a potential invasion of symbiotes.
I would like to see that, to be honest.
That would be a much better finale than 2 symbiotes fight over a rocket.
Now, you say you want something better than that, but let's be honest here. A CGI mess with 2 men's faces in the middle is some Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 callback shit that I wanted. And I didn't know I needed.
Is that what you went in looking for?
No.
Into Venom?
That final fight scene is just such a fucking mess.
Oh yeah.
You cannot tell what is going on.
It's nighttime with 2 black blobs.
It's Transformers with slimy things.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
choreograph
stuff.
your action scene.
Right down to it being, you leave this planet alone, we will take this planet. It's yep, this is Optimus and Megatron in the Bay movies.
There is some decent fight choreography in this. The stuff in the apartment and the bike stuff. It's some decent action stuff there.
I thought the bike scene was probably the best thing in the movie.
Yeah.
It could have come from a prototype movie, never mind a Venom movie.
The SWAT team fight is not too bad either. The sort of smoke air Venom pulling people in the shadows. This should have been a horror movie with Venom as the villain.
Christ, yeah.
It just doesn't.
So here's how you set up Venom without treading on Spider-Man's footsteps, because Venom's origin and Spider-Man are so intertwined in the comic books, and here they have to ignore all that.
You call it prototype.
No.
And it's about...
No, Daniel Way did a run called Venom in 2003?
Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar with
it. It's a great series. It's told in sort of 12 issues, each 4 issues is a mini arc. And the first one is basically a remake of The Thing. It's set in an Arctic base, and this government facility have got a piece of Venom. During a fight, part of Venom's tongue was severed, because he's got the big severed tongue.
A venet.
So they get hold of it, and they froze it, and they take it down to this lab to basically test and look into what the hell it is, because people don't know what the hell this thing is, but this monster keeps appearing every now and again, and Spider-Man beats it up, and it's what is it? And it becomes the Thing. This symbiote begins to sort of use people in the base to try and get the hell out of there, because it's not the symbiote. It's an independent limb that's kind of grown conscious. It is I need to get back to the body. I need to get back to the rest of my body. And it just starts to take people over. And it's the Thing, but with a goo monster that can make you look like other stuff and turns you into a chompy creature thing. And that would have worked great.
To me.
You can set that up and then have it head toward New York. So you just start it as, it's a research base. Here's a goo thing from space. We're going to research. Oh, God, what is this? And then you send it to New York. And if you can work out the Spider-Man deal later, then boom, you've got your lead in. Your Venom movie is a prequel to a Spider-Man.
There's no way they would do that, though, because...
It'd be clever.
Yeah,
or do Agent Venom. Do Agent Venom.
They wouldn't get the money shots of Venom in full costume,
You can do. You can still have it flip out and have big teeth and tongue.
Yeah, but he'd need to be in New York and he's not in New York, San Francisco.
San Francisco, catching the tram with Tommy Wiseau.
But it does sound like that this would be missing dialogue about chocolate,
Yeah.
and dogs. And
It sounds a bit too competent to me. I wouldn't go
yeah.
to see
I don't want to see that movie.
I don't want to see an average film. I'll either see a great film or a terribly entertaining
This
film.
is a terrible film, but I've got to
Terribly
admit,
entertaining. Billy Tracy, 4 stars.
it's pretty fun because it's so incompetent.
At any point, did it feel like they were telling the story of Eddie Brock feeling empowered by the symbiote?
At no point did it feel like we're telling the story.
Until the very end, where he's like, "Felt good though, right? Like you feel, I understand. You feel the
You
power."
feel it up your
You,
ass.
you spent the film looking like you wanted to vomit everywhere.
Yeah.
He's not enjoying it.
Yeah.
There's like
The power is overwhelming. Is it? You
It takes
look
what,
like you wish
the
to die.
better part of an hour to get him venomized.
it takes him about an hour to get venomized. Then he starts hearing the voice.
Yeah.
And then there is in that bike scene. There's a bit where he's like, "I don't want to die," and Venom's like, "You're not going to die." And that's probably my favourite bit because I love it in films when someone is going through a lethal situation and there's something else that's protecting them, and that for no discernible reason, like that moment of godly intervention is awesome.
We didn't get Upgrade over here yet, did we?
No, I don't think they have. No.
It's a movie that came out in the States earlier in the year. It's about a guy who is he's paralysed and his partner or something is killed in an attack, like a home invasion or something. So he's left paralysed. So they do this prototype spinal surgery on when they like implant this AI controlled device in his spinal column, which lets him move again.
Okay.
But it can also take over and pilot his body.
Oh,
So he goes on like a revenge spree with this AI thing helping him.
It's sort of
I
dark,
saw
like a dark comedy, isn't it? the way
I saw
they do
this
it.
big
It's
list
dark,
about
twisted
somewhere.
humour.
Yeah,
It's like Doc Ock.
I think it came out in the States in the summer. I think we're getting it over here at some time. I've seen it coming up.
I'm sure we
somewhere,
saw
but
a
I
teaser
haven't-
trailer before something.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've seen a review on that film.
Yeah, I've seen reviews of it. It's apparently pretty good.
And that's
But,
on the list
and
then.
there was a moment in Venom actually, which is very much like the shot I'm thinking of from the trailer,
Well,
where the guy is suddenly picked up by an invisible force.
apparently this Venom has a lot of similar choreography in the fight stuff to what is in Upgrade.
Right. Because there is this particular shot of Eddie Brock, I'm thinking of, where
Yeah.
he's suddenly up from the floor, and it looks like he's being pulled in the chest.
Yeah.
Which doesn't quite make sense if it's inside him, but sure.
Well, it seems like that's where.
Gravity?
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
It takes you down, not up.
I'm pulling him up into... Well, it's from space, I suppose. It's a
Good point.
Pulling him up into the sky.
So the symbiotes,
Yes.
the symbioids, that...
Symbiotas.
It's established in the film that they have to connect with a human host to survive in our atmosphere.
Yes.
Yes.
And they know that if they die in a host, they'll die too. If the host dies, they die.
Yes.
That's established.
Yes. Yeah.
So, why are the invasion force, apart from 2, why did the invasion force spend their entire time eating the people that they're bonding with and therefore dying?
Because they're not. One, they're not close enough genetic matches.
Well, that's the thing. Carlton Drake makes a big point of
Yeah.
that. So they've got to genetically match, but that does argue out of favour of their invasion plan. Just
Yes.
like, what if they don't, in their limited time, find a
That's
genetic
the
match?
thing. That riot, whatever that riot was, goes inside the
Yeah.
hospital,
The paramedic.
nurse and
The-
then
the-
After
woman
killing
and the girl.
John Jameson,
I feel.
the astronaut
Yes. Well,
from
they never
Spider-Man
say
lore.
John Jameson. It could be like some unrelated dude like Bobby Jameson or Barry Jameson.
Oh yeah,
or
the other Jameson astronaut
Bibbo
in
Jameson.
Spider-Man lore. You know they just did that so that people like us
Oh,
would go,
yeah.
"Oh, that's really cool."
That's a reference to Spider-Man. I know Spider-Man.
Oh, it's Venom. Hi, Venom.
Ugh,
Would you
fuck
like
off.
some? Would you like some tater tots, Venom?
Yeah.
Oh, and chocolate, please.
Oh, yes, it's a dog.
Frozen tater tots straight from the
like
freezer, please. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. So first off, symbiotes. Right.
So the just
So
genetic match
they
was a
can,
thing.
It's a genetic match, but then they also consume the host as a food source unless they can eat food.
Yes.
The liquid nutrients that they're feeding him in the labs aren't working. And then earlier on, Venom says it implies he wants live food.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
He
he picks up like a.
He eats all the stuff in Eddie's
lobster.
apartment and he throws it back up.
Yeah.
And then he eats the stuff in the restaurant. He's like, "This is dead." There. And then he goes into the lobster tank, takes a bath in the lobster tank,
Yep.
and eats a live lobster.
Yes.
Right.
At the end of the movie,
It's
he's
eating
like,
it's,
"What are we going to eat tonight?" or chocolate and tater tots?
Oh, I like chocolate, Eddie.
I can't find the answer to that on HomePod.
Special guest there.
Siri.
The HomePod.
That was unexpected.
I feel like the second act is where you'd have Venom falling in love with chocolate and tater tots.
Yeah, the
And it's
missing
like,
second act.
You need him forming a bond with Earth,
Yeah,
enjoying the
because he
planet.
just suddenly is like, oh no, I'm going to defend the Earth with no setup.
Yeah, you need to have Eddie throwing a frisbee with his symbiote hand catching
having
it.
a little, date on the grass with him and the symbiote head coming out of him, feeding each other chocolates.
There is a scene in the film where he's trying to break into Eddie Brock's trying to break into the offices where he used to work because he's got footage.
Yeah.
Of what's going on, and there's a bit where Venom wants to eat the security guard. Venom tells him no. They walk back outside, and then Venom goes, "Want to get up?" I think that's all he says. Is just, "Want up?"
Why didn't you say it?
His grammar is all over the place. Because sometimes he speaks like a dude, a bit of a douchebag dude, bro dude, and then sometimes he speaks like fucking Cookie Monster.
There's a moment where he's like, when they're up that high building, and he's like, "Oh, shall we jump down?" And he's like, "No," and he just goes, "Pussy," and I was like, that feels a bit weird, actually, coming from Venom.
That feels very weird.
And then you've also got the moment during the bike chase where, like, Venom saves him for a moment, and Eddie's like, "Oh, thank you," and Venom just goes, "You are welcome."
Whoever was writing his dialogue is like, it's a robot, it can't speak English properly, oh no, it speaks English perfectly, it knows everything he knows, but then asks him questions. What?
Who was that? It's like, just a minute ago, your line of dialogue was, I know everything about you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big guy for, like, properly nitpicking movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, oh, this is the plot. But when a movie doesn't follow the rules that it sets up itself,
Especially minutes after it's done.
that's just like, sometimes within the same scene.
Oh, yeah.
That's just bad writing.
I mean, you could argue that it's saying, "Oh, I know everything about you, Eddie," just to mess with him. It feels like Venom would be the kind of
that's
character.
I've seen your browsing
is-
history, Eddie.
This is something.
God, no.
This is something that I've got from working on scripts as an actor. If a character says something, unless it's stated that they're lying, there's no reason to believe that it's a lie.
Yes. Yeah.
So, putting on after the fact that this was a lie without any evidence in the text it's not proper interpretation of the text.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's just lazy writing.
We're a podcast that enjoys comic books.
Yeah.
Let's have a little brief dive onto the extra nerdy shit they put in there in the hopes that we'll all think it's really cool.
There's Ron Lim herbal remedies in the street at the end.
For real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not spot that.
Ron Lim.
Okay.
I don't know if Ron Lim had a run Venom, but I guess he must have. But I didn't spot any McFarlane or
Well, there's a whacking big Stan Lee cameo at the end.
yeah,
Where he implies
Oh,
not
he
only
looks
to know that
so
Eddie Brock
old.
wishes to get back with Anna, but also knows he's got a symbiote and implies that they should both pursue her.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's got
it's
a
really
dog, so it's
creepily
cute,
as well.
Yeah, that's unpleasantly creepy.
It's the first Stan Lee cameo where he looks as old as he
looks
definitely
so
is now.
frail.
Don't give up on her. Oh no!
Both of
Leave
you.
her alone.
I hear women like it when your gooey black friend tells them that they must get back together with
It's
you.
the Stephen Moffat thing, isn't it? Of like stalking people to fall in love with you. There's I'm sure there's a couple of uncomfortable ones that he's written.
The one off the top of my head is definitely the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just follows him. And there's one in Blink.
He followed me home every night
And then there's one in
Yeah,
Blink.
oh
There's,
God,
there's, there's
till
the-
I marry him.
in his best, in what some would argue to be his best episode in Blink. You've also got the woman who goes back in time, and there's a man from Hull on that sitting on that wall, and he just follows her. And then they end up getting married.
Where are you going? Oh, to talk to you. Hello, don't mind me. We got married. He's very sweet. It's like, my God.
Sorry, I felt like we had to mention Doctor Who somewhere
that's fine.
in your Venom podcast.
We reluctantly talked about Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
There's Anna herself, who, for massive fans of Venom lore, would be excited to know, she very briefly wears the symbiote.
Yeah, we get sexy Venom.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So she
Why are you
Venom.
guys sounding tired about that? And not as if that's the best part of the film.
That is like
No, what happens next is the best part of the film.
Well, no, the reason
her rocking up is meant to be cool to people who would go, "Oh, she Venom," but instead it just made me go, "Right, so you're getting this one out of the way, so you've done it then."
Getting it out of your system, Abby.
Because she, in the comics, very briefly, after it leaves Eddie, those two bond. And
I'm going to see if I
she's
can pull
thing.
up a proper Easter eggs list.
And it looks basically how it looks in the movie, but with obviously a white spider on its chest.
Well, it's very big breasts.
And it's insanely well defined, sort of like hips and buttocks and breasts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Venom is definitely giving Eddie what he wants.
Yes, this is the thing, because it's Venom who's doing that to her body.
Yes.
So Venom is like, what can I do to kiss Eddie? I know, anime.
Get them anime titties.
And ass.
Anne, my titties. She's like, did you just turn my name into a pun? Also, did you say titties? But she can't hear it then because it starts leaping over trees and she's not sure what's happening. So like She-Venom was in there. Riot is a symbiote, an obscure symbiote from a group of them from a 90s story. Freaking, who else pops up? At the beginning, the astronaut is named as Jameson, so presumably John Jameson from Spider-Man, the Man-Wolf / J. Jonah Jameson's son. My son, the astronaut! A picture of my son, the astronaut! Oh, no, he's dead. Carlton Drake is a character from one of the Venom series as well.
Yeah, I believe so, but I've no idea which.
He's not Elon Musk, evil Elon Musk. Well, Elon Musk is...
I haven't read any good Venom.
Is the
Rick Remender, the Flash Thompson run.
Oh yeah,
very
that's
good.
alright, actually.
is the Jameson reference better or worse than the photographer guy in Batman v Superman?
Better
because in the home video version of Batman v Superman, you not only find out that that's Jimmy Olsen, but then you watch him get killed knowing it's Jimmy Olsen. And you're like, well, that's horrible. Like, that's Snyder making the decision to kill Jimmy Olsen, a beloved character from the Superman canon. Superman's buddy, Jimmy Olsen. Whereas John Jameson is, he's a character. Like, he appeared in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 as a character, and there he is. And he's not like Harry Osborn or Flash Thompson. He's not sort of one of those, oh, that's a fun character in Spider-Man. He's just there. Okay. He's fun later in the comics when he turns into a freaking wolf man. That's a fun thing. Lunar radiation, mother truckers. He's the man wolf. True story.
I think there's a better word for that. Where?
No.
Oh,
who recently reapeared in a Carnage miniseries.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Apparently, in the credits,
Oh.
Jameson is named as J.J. Jameson III.
What?
Which explicitly makes him John Jameson.
Oh, Christ alive.
Because J. Jonah Jameson is J. Jonah Jameson Jr., isn't
Yeah.
he? And then these old J.J. old man John Jameson who marries Aunt May.
J. Jameson is the elder, J. Jonah Jameson is his son, and John Jameson is his... Oh, Christ.
J.J. Jameson III.
So they go out of their way to make a reference. That's really silly.
Yeah.
But the biggest out of their way reference they make is the mid-credit sequence, which is...
Yeah, there's 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, one of which is from the school of Amazing Spider-Man 2, hey, other studio, can you throw us a bone? Although this time from another Sony project, but a different
It's an
Sony
origin
studio.
room!
But the middle one, Dan, could you, in the layman's term, walk us through what the hell happens in the mid-credit sequence of Venom? Because I want to hear somebody try and make sense of it, in terms of its
quite
context.
simple.
Yeah.
I think it's really easy.
Good. I mean, to be fair, you can't lay the gauntlet down more than that. So
I got that.
Oh,
I got it.
is this really easy though? That's the question. Let's see.
Eddie Brock
You failed, Dan.
is going to visit a friend in jail.
No, he didn't say friend. It's not a friend because he said, "Oh,
Well, he's not.
He did say that.
Just said, "Oh."
Exposition security guard goes, oh, he's a wrong one, but the FBI
Eddie Brock's going to meet someone in prison for an interview, and he says to Venom at the very start of the scene, which is post credits, he goes, "This is between me and him, Venom, so don't come out."
This is not a me thing. This is a me thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but keep it quick.
So Venom is instantly discharged from the...
I want to go get a Mackey's. Okay.
And then he walks into a room, and a clown is in there, and he says, "I'm going to get out, and my name is Rampage."
I mean,
I already saw Rampage.
That's not far off. Is there a symbiote called Rampage? I think there is.
Probably.
What's his name, actually?
No, but that's damn close. That is the best description. That is a clearer description of what was probably written in the script. Because, yeah, it's...
I mean, there was definitely a clown.
Yeah.
There was definitely a clown in there.
Ronald was there.
I don't think it was meant to be a clown. Eddie Brock is interviewing an inmate who's recently been detained, I guess. A serial killer.
I think he's been in there for a while.
He's interviewing them on behalf of the FBI, because sometimes apparently the FBI... All of this is said by a security guard. The FBI send in average journos from time to time because they sometimes get different answers from the inmates or whatever. It's like, okay. He's brought into a cell, and this inmate has written "Welcome Eddie" or "Hello Eddie" in blood.
Oh, yeah!
On the bars.
Yeah, he
Because
did
of reasons.
that.
That's nice.
But then
Because that's what he did in the
Yeah,
comics in his
it's
first
nice to know
appearance.
that it
Yeah,
was well.
but then makes a point, though, of going like, let's cut the serial killer scary nonsense, like, let's just talk, come a bit closer, I can't see, and it's like...
And then proceeds to be a creepy serial
But then
killer.
proceeds to be a creepy serial killer.
Yeah.
The serial killer in question is
That's the
Woody.
joke.
Is played by Woody Harrelson in what can best be described
In a
as
carrot top wig.
yeah, cosplaying Carrot Top.
Basically.
Shock red hair in a mop on his head.
It's amazing.
And he says, like, you got to take these down because, you know, take down what I'm going to say, because when I escape, and believe me, it is a when, there's going to be carnage. And it cuts to the credits.
No, it doesn't. Because
remember,
then he
gives a
comes
shit-eating
out,
grin at it.
Yeah, and then he comes out, and then they says, "Oh, but then there's another guy you want to see as well," and opens the door, and Jared Leto's there, and Jared Leto's like, "You've come to see me too, haven't you?
And
Because
somebody's like,
believe me, there's going to be Morbius."
Oh, yes. Yes. And then a female voice sparks up from the corner saying, "But wait a minute, come over here." And he does, and there's two females, each with shock white hair, and they go, "Things are going to get Silver Sable and Black Cat around here." And we all die inside a little, because this is what they're doing. I mean, you know, Morbius aside, like, this is what they're doing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
They haven't learned any lesson from the Amazing Spider-Man.
Woody Harrelson's playing Cletus Cassidy. They're implying that Carnage is a thing without actually establishing that Carnage is a thing. He just says Carnage. He's not even named in the film. He's not even named.
He's a red one, isn't he?
Yes. He's Venom's offspring.
Yes.
Venom in the comics, the symbiote procreates over time and it spawns further.
Sorry? Say that sentence again.
It spawns.
No, before that,
procreates.
who-
Venom.
Venom and...
Carnage. No, Venom and Eddie Brock don't have sex and create a baby as much as this Venom would
why
bloody love
don't
to.
they?
Yeah.
The Venom,
Do it, you cowards!
The symbiotes
Do it!
The symbiotes reproduce by spawning a symbiote over the period of its life at least once. And Venom... In the comics, Eddie Brock is a horrible person and the Venom symbiote is an aggressive monster, and the two of them are horrible, and they are sharing a cell briefly with the serial killer Cletus Cassidy, and the Venom symbiote at that point is making Eddie really unwell. Like, he's detained enough and it's subdued enough that they keep him in this max security prison with basic power dampening stuff because he's not strong enough to lash out anymore. And it's because he's unwell, and it turns out he's unwell because it's pregnant. And he breaks out the cell, the symbiote comes back to life, and he gets all the venom, like, big and everything, and he smashes through the walls. Cletus Cassidy's cackling because he's like, "Oh my god, there's a monster in my cell, this is fucking amazing!" And it leaves behind this, like, sort of sample. It's like this other blotch of symbiote. It looks like a pool of blood. And the pool of blood begins to stir. And then the next time we see Cletus Cassidy is covered in this red stuff, and he's calling himself Carnage. Well, the news calls him Carnage, whatever. So basically, imagine if Eddie Brock was not a human being with human sort of feelings, and had all that stuff removed, and was a serial killer, mass murdering, loved violence, and the sort of character that shouldn't be in a Spider-Man book, basically.
Yeah.
And had a symbiote.
But it was
attached
the
to
90s.
But it was the 90s, and everything's extreme. That's Carnage. Cletus Cassidy is a young-ish, scrawny, redneck psychopath. Not a 55-odd-year-old Woody Harrelson in a boiler suit.
Is that where he is?
Well, that's the thing. This tagline is obviously this tag's meant to make you go, "Oh, right, so you're going to do Carnage in the next one. I guess we better come see this again so you can make another one and we can see Carnage." But we asked Billy about this, didn't we, on the way here? We said, so did you know about Carnage and Cletus Cassidy, and that stuff? And you went, no. And I said, so what the hell was your response to that scene when you watched it the first time? What went through your head?
Oh, it's the bad guy. He's the baddie in the next one.
All I knew was, he's obviously going to be the bad guy next time, and is probably from the comics.
Yeah.
But isn't that terrible storytelling?
Yes, but I've experienced that in practically every superhero movie I've ever seen. So,
We've experienced that in the rest of Venom, everything pre-credits.
Yeah, everything that's not a diss on all of the Marvel films. All it is just
no, but I know what you mean. Yeah. There's definitely shortcutting that relies on fan hype.
Yeah,
in
and
this
me going
instance,
to an
though,
article by Cult telling me.
But the best ones are the ones that shouldn't force you to Google. The best ones are the ones that make you go, "Oh, that looks kind of cool. I wonder what that is." I guess we'll find out.
The only one that I knew who it was, and I don't know why I knew who it was, but it made me laugh because I knew that they weren't going to do anything with it, was at the end of Guardians, when it's revealed Howard the Duck is there.
Yeah.
That just made me laugh because I was like, you're not doing anything with him!
I tell you what, I did get the same... I had the same reaction with Thanos at the end of Avengers. I didn't know who he was.
No,
when I watched that in the cinema, but it was... I guess kind of the same reaction, that's a big baddie, I guess.
But I mean, at least with
Thanos, it was more effective.
In the defense of that one, you have the other talking to Loki earlier, the whole "oh, you must do this, he's not pleased." So you get the connection that this is the person above. Yeah, okay,
this is the guy in control.
And again, it's that separate tag of it's after all the credits, and it's there to make you go, "Oh, okay. Oh, so there is." That's the person who's. Oh, I wonder what they're about. And then a couple of films later, you get a tease for him, and you go, "Oh, they're going to follow that through." Okay. Whereas this, it's just, here's a baddie man,
Captain Blue Chin.
You better stick him.
Even though he's purple.
Grimace. Nutsack of a chin.
Yes.
His nutsack of a chin.
Would you like to hear some more symbiote names from the comics?
Only if these guys can rate them on a scale of 1 to chocolate.
Okay, so Venom was the first.
Chocolate
obviously.
being the most enjoyable reaction.
Okay, so Venom is chocolate.
One being
Venom,
a bit tame.
Venom spawned Carnage.
Vaguely chocolatey 6, I would say.
Carnage spawned Toxin.
Now that sounds like a 7.
Yeah.
On the Choco scale.
That's an after 8 right there.
Toxin, who is 10 times more like the character we saw on screen, of it being a petulant parasite thing, and the guy at the end. You know the scene at the end where he's like,
"Don't call him a parasite."
Right, yeah. You know the scene at the end where he's like, "Okay, we've got to set some ground rules. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this." That's Toxin. Toxin's a cop who ends up with this spawn of Carnage that's basically an infantile-minded symbiote that is like, "Can we eat that?" And he's like, "That's my child. No." And he's having to sort of restrain it. That's basically that, which makes for an interesting book because it's what would happen if it was like this and not a.
It makes for a more interesting story than anything that was in this movie.
Yeah, meats.
These anti-Venom, who is
that sounds like minus chocolate.
Who is Eddie Brock?
Yeah. Eddie Brock after he loses the Venom symbiote and gets cancer.
Is that really what happens?
Yeah. There's the god of symbiotes.
Finds God, gets cancer, and sells the symbiote to a supervillain auction.
The god of symbiotes, the original symbiote, Knull.
No.
Yeah, this is a fairly recent.
That's a fairly recent thing. Although it's been seeded for a while.
Like a calendar, like a Christmas calendar chocolate. So it's fine.
The cheap chocolate.
That sort of cheap calendar chocolate.
He was seeded in Thor, the Thor God of Thunder series, because of the entity that creates All Black, the Necro Sword.
Jesus Christ.
which is also a form of
Sorry?
symbiote.
You've not only...
All Black, the Necro Sword.
You've not only lost me, you've pulverised my brain.
All Black, the Necro Sword, Slicer of Worlds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it bonded to Galactus at one point, and Galactus became Galactus the World Butcher. And then he bonded with Ego the Living Planet to create Ego the Necro Planet and ate Galactus. This is why I love Jason Aaron.
Because he's balls to the wall mental?
Yes. That's a Jason... All Black the Necro Sword is a Jason Aaron creation.
Get to those sweet, sweet 90s symbiotes, son.
We've got Dreadface.
That is
Fantastic
that
Four
is a Terry's
360.
chocolate orange.
That's January 1992.
Yeah.
Red face. Oh my god.
There's the Life Foundation from the comics. They're 5 symbiotes: Scream, Lasher, Phage, Agony, and Riot. Which is where Riot comes
I
from.
thought you were going to say Ryan there for a
Ryan,
second.
Ryan.
Love it if there was
once again, Scream,
Scream,
Lasher. Okay, so Scream's the one on the Spider-Man ride
yeah.
in Florida. That's Scream.
That's what he...
Yeah. She pops up in that one. What Lasher? Fade, is it?
Phage.
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 Galaxy sort of
Phage.
thing to
More
it,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's all right.
Agony.
Tasty. Agony.
Yeah. And Riot.
Oh Christ. Yeah.
Some of the 4 of those were fused to become Hybrid, which is boring.
Hybrid.
Yes, that sounds very boring.
Crowbar.
Crowbar.
But
How's it spelled?
K-R-O.
that sounds pretty hip.
B-double-A.
My God,
That is like...
Crowbar.
That's one of the 90s names. Most 90s names I've heard.
That's from
quite a
Venom
while.
Seed of Darkness #1 in July 1997.
Jesus. Late 90s.
Yes.
This is when he was addicted to chocolate. That's a thing.
I
Payback.
love that.
What?
Payback.
I thought you said piggyback.
If only.
Now they're just picking words out of a dictionary.
This is a
aren't
great
they?
one. Zzz. 3 Z's and 2 X's.
Which symbiote's your favourite, Matt? Sorry?
Yeah.
I really want to...
Ah.
How many more are there of these, Matt? Are we going to
Not
be here
many.
all night?
No, there's like 3 more that are worth
Okay.
talking about. Scorn.
Yeah.
From the Carnage miniseries in 2011.
Oh, there's a two.
Really?
He's the spawn of Carnage.
Christ, I remember that now. Yeah.
Mania, which is the Venom from the Venom where his tongue gets cut out and that becomes...
They gave a name to that one?
Yeah, it's called Mania.
Mania, fair enough.
And then I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, there's Raze. R-A-Z-E. That's it.
Good old thing.
There's a couple of other ones, but I'm not going to get into them because they're boring. So yeah.
Wait, those were the interesting ones.
I know, right? It's
think
almost as
some
if this
pretty
symbiote
incredible ones. I
thing
haven't
was
seen these.
just a bad idea and they should just let it die and stop making fucking movies about it.
I don't know why is Venom's Road Gallery just other Venoms?
Because he's a villain to start with.
He's a bad guy, not a hero. It's...
Why can't he have other interesting villains? Like, Spider-Man doesn't just fight other Spider-Man.
He doesn't.
Like-
He doesn't fight Spydra from Inspector Gadget Jr.
No.
He should do, but he doesn't.
But this is the thing with a lot of superheroes that especially in their first films or early
It's-
comics,
it's
it's
a
like it's
evil
just
mirror
the
version of them.
the mirror version
Yeah,
of
but
themselves.
it's
The
meant
thing
to
I like
highlight
about
our faults, isn't it?
Spider-Man's Rose Gallery is that they're mostly animal themed. So there is
which
a
is
sort of-
visually interesting.
There is
Yeah.
It's visually interesting. It creates room for a lot of variety and it makes sense thematically.
And you can do it in a clever way as well by if you want the villains to reflect the protagonist, you do what things like Batman did, and they reflect aspects of his personality, don't they?
Yeah, all of Batman's villains reflect something of him, and all of his best villains do that, absolutely. Like Duality, or the light and dark match, or,
What's William Fisk's...
Wilson Fisk.
Wilson Fisk.
William Fisk.
William.
Hello, I'm William Fisk.
Billy Fisk.
I'm the
Is he an animal?
I'm the Queenpin.
No, he's the Kingpin.
Kingpin
Oh,
is just the typical mob boss.
I didn't know
guy.
who he was until we were
there
playing
are-
Spider-Man.
He's
I
so
was like,
good.
oh, you're okay.
Oh, John,
There
you need
are
to
a
watch
couple
Daredevil
of-
on Netflix.
There are a couple of Daredevil
Oh, John,
villains who
you're
are
going to
animal
watch
themed.
Daredevil on Netflix. At least
including-
season 1.
Can I?
For Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as Wilson Fisk.
Whilst it's on my mind,
There's the slug and the owl from Daredevil who are animal themed.
Owl.
And the owl is really
is everyone
good.
in New York just an animal?
Yes.
Yeah, Porcupine.
The owl's really good in the Bendis Daredevil run. He's actually really, really good in that.
Frogman
Frogman
is a thing.
He's literally a diver in a frog suit who you can jump.
Yeah. He's like Batroc the Leaper, but he decided to put a stupid hat on, essentially.
He's great.
Instead of have a stupid name. Well, it's still a stupid name. There's two things we really need to touch on before we wrap up. Two things we really need to touch on. One of which is what this means
Yes, I'm interested.
for Sony, because
It doesn't mean anything. Everybody falls the first time.
Amy Pascal and Avi Arad, Amy Pascal, head of Sony Pictures, and Avi Arad, the exec producer of this movie, have always wanted to make Spider-Man spin-offs because they wanted their own franchise to build on. Sony doesn't really have a franchise. Like, it distributes others like Bond, things like that. It's never had one of its own. They tried with Ghostbusters 2016 and failed miserably.
They tried to buy Doctor Who.
They did, and failed miserably, but Spider-Man is one that's a surefire bet. He's hands down their biggest owned cinematic property. Now, though, they're in a fortunate position where they have a deal with Marvel, where Marvel Studios and Disney co-own the character for a while. So, the initial agreement... Amazing Spider-Man 2 failed financially and critically, and they went, oh god, we're in the shit. And we have 2 years to make another Spider-Man film before the rights are up for negotiation. And we don't want that. We want to put something into production. But Marvel reached out to Olive Branch and said, we've got an idea. Let's reboot Spider-Man together. Here's a contract for 5 films off the bat. We're going to make 3 with your Spider-Man in our movies. And you're going to make 2 Spider-Man movies. But here's how it's going to work. We'll make our films. We'll profit 100% from our films. We are borrowing your Spider-Man. We will also make your films, but you profit 100% from those. But obviously, like, the crew get paid and everything, and the team's working on it. But so the idea is that Civil War was where they introduced him. Disney and Marvel Studios get all the profit. Then we get Spider-Man: Homecoming. Is that right? Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming is the next one. Disney make it. Sony got all the profit. Then it's Infinity War. Disney make it, Disney get all the profit. Infinity War follow up next year, Disney make it, Disney get all the profit.
No, I don't think so, Chris. I don't think so.
And
After
then...
what happened?
No, but this is... this is important for the numbers, because this is where Sony have been specifically very crafty. Then we get Spider-Man Far From Home, which wrapped filming today, which Sony get all the profit. So this is great, because Sony Spider-Man movies are now seen to have a level of quality because of the MCU connection. So people are... Homecoming did amazingly at the box office last year, and it did really well, and
it was quite good.
Reviews were really positive.
I really
for
enjoyed it,
and it did a great job. And a lot of that is because of the goodwill of Civil War. People saw Civil War and went, "We love this Spider-Man. What's he doing next?" And they went to see it.
It's a Spider Guy.
So it's a beneficial relationship for Sony, hands down. That was great. The Spider Guy from YouTube. It's beneficial for Sony. Now, Sony cast Tom Holland, because they had decision alongside Marvel Studios. They cast Tom Holland and signed Tom Holland, you ready for this? You ready for this? You ready for this? For a 6-picture deal. The Spider-Man relationship with Marvel and Disney and Sony is a 5-picture deal. Tom Holland is signed for 6. Avi Arad and Amy Pascal determined to carry on their own cinematic universe to cash in on what they own of Spider-Man. They go ahead. Venom finally gets made. We now know that a Morbius film is in some form of development with Jared Leto attached.
Well, he ain't doing Suicide Squad 2, so...
Well, do we get to that next week?
Not unless he wants to come to blows with James Gunn.
We'll get to that next week. What? That's a whole thing. You'll have to listen to next week's episode to find out more.
I want to find out now.
So talk after the recording's finished.
Silver Sable, the mercenary from Spider-Man PS4, and Black Cat were touted to be in a film together called Silver and Black because of reasons. That's now going to be 2 separate movies. That's in development.
Yeah, they put it on indefinite hold, I think.
Oh, no, they'll fast track it. If the DLC does well this month, they will fast track a Black Cat movie because they're idiots. So that's happening. A Kraven the Hunter movie is being optioned and has been written. There's a script. Someone has come out. I can't remember who it is, but a screenwriter said, "I've written Kraven the Hunter." Kraven the Hunter is a Spider-Man villain. He's a big game hunter who's hunted and bested every animal alive on the planet. Like, he's a proud holder of every trophy. Every possible head is mounted on his wall. Right. There's one game he's never hunted before.
Where's a tiger vest?
There's no challenging, man. Now, that guy who's leaping up buildings and swinging from things, I'm going to fucking take him down and mount him on my wall. Really simplistic supervillain idea from the 60s. Over the years, they've done more interesting things with it.
I quite like that, though.
It's all about honour and pride, essentially.
It just reminds me of Jumanji.
He's if Van Pelt was, like, muscly and slightly roided up with chemicals.
And
it's probably Russian?
He's Russian. Sergei Kravinov.
Yeah.
And what's the film where Jim Carrey talks to animals?
Mr. Popper's Penguin?
No.
That's the one where he talks to animals.
Oh, Ace Ventura, right?
Yeah, it's like Ace Ventura.
Oh, yeah.
2
Oh,
as well.
of course. Why the fuck did we go to Mr. Popper's
Penguin.
Because
His most famous film.
I was really
Making a
confused by
household
that.
name.
Because I haven't seen Mr. Popper's Penguins, I don't know what it's about.
I don't know what it's about.
Mr.
Popper and his
And two, because when you say he talks to animals, I think that they talk back to him.
Do the penguins talk to him?
I've never seen it, I don't know!
Right, so what you're saying is we need to continue the Mr. Popper's Penguin cinematic universe.
Sony?
But Craven the Hunter, great idea. And there's another one, is he called Night Watch?
Night Watch, which apparently Spike Lee's gonna do.
Again, obscure as fuck.
Spike Lee
Spider-Man
joint.
spin-off character
Night
from the
Watch.
90s who appeared in like
basically
one
a-
story and then a very brief limited series.
Basically, it was supposed to be an ongoing, but it cancelled after like 9
Yeah,
issues. It's basically a Spawn rip-off.
He's Spawn, but he's not like overly supernatural, basically.
Yeah.
He's got the same cape and costume, and it's
He gets,
so stupid.
if I remember correctly,
Sony
he
will
gets
make it into a film.
he gets his powers from a suit that he picks up from a dead future version of himself.
Great idea
what?
for a story. great idea for a story. Like, a future version of himself arrives, like, in his lap, dying, and is like, don't... I think he even warns him, he's like, don't do what I did. And the guy's like, what the hell will I do? So he's like,
Misfits!
of course! Well, there you go. So it's already been done.
It's already been done.
Several
on
times.
Channel 4.
At E4, sir.
E4.
It's the fun one.
So Sony have got
For
all these
young
movies
people.
that they're developing or want to develop, and that's the plan. Venom being as financially successful as it has in its opening weekend mean that Sony are now the gears are turning. Morbius is definitely going to happen in some form. I wouldn't be surprised if Black Cat was the next they fast track. They are going to continue on with these Spider-Man characters given their own stories that are separate from Spider-Man. But
Can we just not?
Tom Holland has one film left on his contract. One film more than the MCU agreement. Sony do get greedy. They get so freaking greedy if they think they're onto a success.
Which, to be fair, it's been a while.
So if they get really massively sort of, elated and get that sort of that rush from Venom's success, what's to say that they won't just go, oh, Disney, hey, yeah, we're here to negotiate like the next deal. It's fine. We'll call it there. Hey, Tom, we're going to put you in Venom 2. Or, hey, Tom, we're going to put you in Morbius.
Well, you know
or,
what,
hey, Tom, we're doing another Spider-Man movie.
You know what?
It's
I
our
wouldn't-
continuity. But, of course, it's then in that bastardized, it's going to trick people, because people are going to go, oh, we really like him. Is it carrying on of his story? And it's like, well, it is a carrying on of his story.
But it's broken.
But it's now broken.
You know what I
and
would
not
not put it
connected
past?
to the other thing that's done really well.
You know what I wouldn't put it past Disney to do?
All right.
Oh yeah, what are your projected profits for that? Okay. Here's 4 times that.
If they've got the cash to splash, yeah.
If it comes down to it, Disney will pay to keep Spider-Man.
I mean, Sony are being led by idiots here with this stuff. You
Fuck yeah.
remember Spider-Man Homecoming, the press junket? Some of the press junket for Homecoming was Amy Pascal, head of Sony Pictures, and Kevin Feige, head of Marvel Studios, sat together, which is really unusual for press junkets.
Yes.
But it was them. And in one of them, the journalist asks about Venom, and she says, oh yeah, no, it's cool because Venom is, Venom's part of the Marvel cinematic universe. And Kevin Feige sat next to her, just turns to her and is like, what? And you can see him going, wait, what? Like, this is not a conversation we've had.
Yeah.
And she sort of wraps the
Yeah.
question up, she's like, yeah, mm-hmm. And then they move on, and the rest of the interview, you can just see him sort of side-eyeing her like, we are going to have fucking words after this interview.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
This is how,
Yeah,
this is the lady who was like, I want more female-centric
Yes.
summer blockbusters. Fantastic, great. Hey, Paul Feig, I want you to do Ghostbusters. Oh, I have no interest in that. Yeah, but I want to hear what your take is. Oh, right. Don't you already have like 3 prospective scripts for a Ghostbusters follow-on? We'll get rid of them, it's fine. And do you know what I mean? She's somebody who obviously has some good ideas and intentions,
I'm pretty sure.
but is also a pretty terrible business person in several other aspects.
She's fascinating to me. I'm sorry to bang on about it, but
No,
I'm pretty
go
sure
for
she
it.
was the one in the emails that leaked, which was like,
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
you have
yeah.
to get who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We need to get who, and it's like I don't think. And it was apparently it was Moffat who stood in the way of it happening.
A lot of those.
She's desperate for a franchise.
In fact, a lot of the emails that leaked was from Amy Pascal, the Sony email. Yeah, it was a lot of her stuff, and that's where a lot of the information that we have about what was planned after Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes from.
Oh, including an espionage spy movie prequel about young Aunt May.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Amy Pascal was determined to have female-led summer blockbusters, but wouldn't sort of then put that idea out amongst the screenwriters and be like, right, what stories are out there that we've not heard yet? Let's thingy. She was just like, that's an idea. Someone make that. And one of them was a Amazing Spider-Man prequel starring a 20-something Aunt May, and it was a spy story.
Mary Parker?
Yeah, because they were going to tie it in loosely
So she was
to her
essentially
and her
going to be
husband's story in the
She was
Amazing
essentially
Spider-Man
going to be
movies.
a kind of like Agent Carter, Haley Atwell type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's weird. Why would you do that?
Because Sony have terrible ideas.
Also, apparently, Amy Pascal was due to leave Sony in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
Probably financial success plus something last minute that persuaded them to keep her on.
Probably didn't. They were probably like, no one else wants this, guys.
No one wants this poison challenge. Just no one wants this poison.
Well, no one wants this.
Venom. Hey!
Just end it there.
Shall we take it home?
I will take it home with what the film left us on. Much like Amazing Spider-Man 2, this movie didn't have a post-credit scene of its own. It had a mid-credit scene with Ronald McDonald. But
they should just not do it because it's Marvel's thing.
Yeah, well, like how Amazing Spider-Man 2 randomly gave us a clip from X-Men Days of Future Past in this weird collaboration with Fox. To show a clip from Days of Future Past. This film ends with at least another Sony project.
Yeah.
As
and another Spider project.
Yeah, as the big caption blares up, meanwhile, in another universe. And we get the best thing that was on screen over that 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think that clip is responsible for us coming out of Venom and feeling really like warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Because that movie
is a kid dressed as Spider-Man and he's dragging along a hobo's corpse.
I have so much I want to say about that.
So, for those who don't know,
really good.
We're talking about after the credits of Venom, a 15 certificate movie in the UK. It shows us a sort of 3-minute clip.
It's just a 3-minute scene
from Into the Spider-Verse.
It even has a cut. It has a
movie.
cut in it.
Yeah.
They literally just took a chunk of the movie out and were like, here you go.
There you go. Watch this. So it's with all superhero films at the minute, everyone knows that there's a post-credit scene, and there was buzz going into it that there's 2 post-credit scenes. I knew it was there because, again, I'm just in the animation community. It's very small, and it was just like, go see it. It's here. There's a bit of it here,
and I imagine there's a lot of buzz around that movie because it looks fucking great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially after the latest trailer sort of reveals that every single alternate universe character and their respective universe that's glimpsed has a different visual style.
Yeah.
They actually tackle the animation differently.
Yeah, which is beautiful, especially when you see a little shot of them all skulking around the ceiling.
So good! The main Miles
they
stuff.
all look completely different, but they are fitting in here.
The main Miles
is
stuff.
that Gank?
I think it's supposed to be Gank, yeah.
Oh, they've slimmed him down because Ned Leeds is sort of the chubby friend, isn't it? So
I think
slimmed him down, but yeah.
It's the closest thing I've seen to bringing comic panels to life while maintaining the idea of them as comic panels to the point where it's got the fucking ink dots on it. It's just
dot separation thing is an up and coming kind of just not mood, but it's a thing. It's an animation at the moment. Because it's also in the DuckTales intro, the new DuckTales. Okay. In fact, it's all over the show. It's just all of the
well, it's beautiful because with that they're trying to make it look like the newspaper strips, aren't they? Like I love the look of that. I've still not watched many episodes, but I did see some of that one where Donald Duck gets a voice briefly, and they got Don Cheadle to play.
I haven't seen that.
I think its preview clips are online, but it's really fun. Like Donald Duck for a while just speaks clearly, and it's Don Cheadle voicing him. It's great.
Fuck yeah!
He says he ate duck to prepare for the role.
I love Don Cheadle,
but. My favourite thing about that was because, as well, in the week before Doctor Who came out, they were screening the trailer for Doctor Who at the start of Venom.
Why
And it's still on in certain cinemas. The trailer is still playing as well.
Yeah, it wasn't on for us, which is a bit disappointing.
But
But we did get a trailer for whatever the other films with the trailers. I can't remember.
Couldn't see this. Robin Hood, which looks okay. Enter the Spider-Verse, which looks brilliant, and Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah, which looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
But the thing is, I love the idea of a bunch of lads, 4 or 5 lads, like
lads.
Yeah. We just go to pub play some football. I don't know.
Let's go to the pub to play some football.
That's what they do at pubs.
How big are the pubs you visited?
They got beer gardens.
Very big beer gardens.
It's big on.
I'm just picturing like a really crowded Weatherspoons where like they're passing the football from foot to foot like penguins with eggs.
Just go with the moon under the water on Saturday night, mate.
But they go in, they sit down, and then the ads start, and there are films for like Robin Hood, which looks like trite. And then, it might be a really good film, but the trailer house didn't do its service, if that's the case. And then you get Doctor Who. Okay, and then also before we saw Venom, there was actually a trailer for Spider-Verse.
Yeah, there was for us.
Review. So,
do animals talk in this dimension? Because I don't want to freak him out. That trailer. It was the older one, I think you said, Billy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we had a weird edit of the two.
Okay.
It wasn't the older one. It had different footage in it.
Yeah.
Then it was edited.
Okay.
There's stuff in there that wasn't in either trailer,
Yeah,
I think.
I'm pretty sure there was. Yeah.
More goblin and stuff like that.
Yes.
Or dragon, whatever he is in this one.
Well, I mean, I imagine it's close to the ultimate version of Green Goblin.
Sort of, yeah. I guess. Sorry, I just like the fact that it's basically the ultimate universe, but obviously they've taken their own spin on it as well. Because like Miles' dad and how Scorpion looks. Scorpion looks terrifying. Just those big metallic legs, and he's just sort of torso on top of the thing. Is that one that you see the Stinger go in the bedroom floor? He's like attacking him.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's rad.
The Goblin's a big dragon thing, and Fisk looks amazing. The Kingpin.
Yes, he's a
Especially
tiny little face.
Especially that shot where it's just blackness, and all you can see is the outline of his shirt and his face in the dark.
Oh no, it's the shot when there's an explosion and everyone just sort of blanks back.
Yeah.
And it freeze frame.
God,
so
pretty.
I just love the idea of a bunch of people going out to watch Venom because they think it's going to be a great movie. Yeah, Tom Hardy, yeah. And then they actually watch the film and they somehow love it unironically. And then like, oh, 2 post-credit scenes. Yeah, Carnage. Oh, what's the next one going to be? Fucking cartoon comes on. Yeah. It's all funny. It's light-hearted, and it's fucking.
And it's weird. It's like good.
What is this feeling I'm experiencing?
This has changed my life.
Is this appreciation of quality?
What is this here?
Entertainment. I don't think these people exist. Certainly not our versions of them.
No, they don't. No. But. I just love the idea of there being people who would not go and watch an animated film, who would go out their way to watch a 15 though because it is a 15, and those people do exist.
Yeah. When we went to the Great Northern to see it today.
Yeah.
The box office was closed because they didn't have enough staff because it's a modern cinema. But there was notices everywhere like. Venom's a 15, ID required. Venom's a 15, ID required. I'm like,
which means a lot of kids have been trying to get into Venom.
A lot of kids were trying to get into it because they wanted to see the new Spider-Man movie. Because everyone knows that Venom even looks still like Spider-Man.
They took away the white spider on his chest, but he's still got enough veinage.
Yeah, like white veins
to have the suggestion of a white spider.
And the eyes as well.
Yeah.
But then, again, Venom is a 15. They're stuck in their post-credits roll.
I mean, they even reduced it in the States, didn't it? It was going to be an R, and now it's PG-13.
And it was very last minute. It was like a 3 weeks ago decision. It was an R rating, and then it became a PG-13. So over here, that would usually be a 12A. But I think, we were talking about this before,
I think it's a little stronger.
I think it's the amount of use of the word shit. And
which is strange, because that would surely be an easy one to cut.
Yeah,
but to make it accessible.
If they cut any more of this movie out, it's going to fall apart.
And I think it was the snapping of the bones and shots like that probably made them go, we'll keep it as a 15.
The violence was surprisingly tame, but there was enough
Venom bites someone's head off and then you don't see a corpse.
Yeah.
No.
He apparently eats someone in that convenience store and you don't see them.
No.
Like anything.
Just gone.
It's just like,
There's a lot of people getting impaled with no real blood.
No, it's very, very, very clean movie in that regard.
Yeah, so it was definitely a lot of CGI blood that they took out in the edit, I think.
yeah.
CGI blood shit.
Oh god, but
It's rubbish.
I'm sorry. Miles Morales sort of instinctively using his stinger shock on Peter because obviously he's not triggered his spider sense like proper or whatever.
Miles-
He's freaking out.
Miles visiting his version of Peter's grave.
This is some really interesting stuff.
I can't wait because
That-
they're
I can't
taking
wait.
they're taking
All
story
the-
cues from the comic book.
All the floral
putting their own
tributes around
spin.
Peter Parker's grave.
Which is like in Ultimates,
It's
because obviously,
awesome.
obviously people know who he is after that
Yeah.
point. And
He's
when
older.
you do eventually revisit May
Yeah.
in the Miles Morales run, you find out like what the public's reaction has been to this teenage boy in that version who was Spider-Man and was saving people and died saving people. And it's like, oh my god, when like he first rocks up and because she confronts him first, doesn't she? She's like,
I think so.
who the fuck are you? And why are you pretending to be my nephew? And it's like, oh god, it's like, oh this is tense. And then Spider-Man. Oh my god, that bit in Spider-Man.
I would be
it's
surprised
amazing.
if
Sorry,
this pulls
it's-
quite a lot from Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, that May's in the movie, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I think
And the Insomniac suit is there in one of the cases. So
Well, in-
that exists in this continuity as
this
well.
implies this
And
his
Spider-Ham,
tombstone-
Peter Parker is in the movie. I'm so freaking happy.
It can get weirder.
Peter Parker's tombstone is it says he was 27 when he died.
Yeah.
I think that's supposed to be around the same age that the Peter Parker in this story is.
So like,
Maybe
like sort of definitely knackered
Yeah.
27. He's got
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, he looks... God, I hope I don't look that bad in a year.
Greys,
I look that
greys
bad
are
at
coming in,
27.
but I think the implication he's been in this universe for a bit, isn't it? Because the way he's sort of trying to disguise
Maybe.
himself, and he looks a bit knackered, like he's grown in a bit. So it's
Yeah.
almost like he's. I love that.
got a bit of hot belly.
That line. That line is amazing, though. I love that whole like. It's the kid dressed as Spider-Man. It looks like he's carrying a hobo's corpse.
It's directed by Lord Miller
Yeah.
off the back of being freed from fucking Star Wars.
Being allowed to pursue other opportunities
Yes.
from Solo, a Star Wars story. Which turned out remarkably well considering the amount of bullshit that was going on with that movie.
It turned out to be a remarkably acceptable film.
pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It was in the middle of the road.
I like it.
So Chewie's eating people now?
But it's not a good place to drive.
Chocolate can.
Story by them as well,
Thanks.
with help from Alex Hirsch.
Nice.
And I'm just like, ooh, give me that.
I'm very much looking forward to
I mean,
it.
if you want to talk about deep cuts that make comic fans genuinely salivate, we're going to see the Prowler in a film.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is he the guy with the big metal boots running up the walls and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, the purple and dark.
He's-
the
I
dark
thought he
purple
was a
and green.
Spider-Man, but he's not a Spider-Man.
he's
He's
a Prowler.
He's
He's
a
like a-
villain in the ultimate version of the comics where Miles Morales originated. He's revealed to be Miles's uncle.
That's cool.
So I don't know if they're going to keep that, but I would imagine so.
But they've obviously hinted at that in the MCU because the character that
That's the
Donald
character
Glover plays in
Spider-Man
Homecoming is that character. Because he
Prowler.
says, like, you know, you'll be running around doing this shit. I mean, I've got a nephew, man. And it's like, that's a Miles Morales reference in Homecoming. He's
So they've
hinting
seeded
at
the
Miles
idea
Morales.
of Miles Morales in that, but it'll be what?
Much
9?
younger. Yeah,
Or
9.
8
If
or
Peter's
something.
like 15, Miles
Yeah.
is like 9.
Oh, younger than that even.
Yeah.
Do Marvel own the rights to Miles?
Yes and no, he's part of the
Yeah.
Spider-Man deal.
Right.
But,
By the time they get round to doing a
Yeah.
if
They
they
can
get
do
round to
stuff
doing a
with
live
these
action Miles
characters.
movie, they will probably have all those rights because they'll have bought all the other movie studios in the world.
And there will only be Disneyplexes.
The cinema going
dreams
experience is bad enough as it is. I don't even make it any fucking worse.
your heart may...
Jesus.
Where do you want to eat for dinner tonight? Well, we can only go to the Disney store. That's all there is now.
I'm gonna eat an up plush.
It's
Oh man, have you tried the new Tum Tum casserole?
All the dumplings have little faces. This one looks like Buzz Lightyear. Eat it, child!
This one looks like my friend Dave who went missing 3 years ago.
Oh, we bought him. We bought the
We
rights
bought-
to Dave.
We bought the rights to Dave and his
bought
body,
the dead.
and we made him a dumpling.
Sorry, what's that, Disney? You bought the what?
We bought the dead.
I do like the idea of Disney just owning these really abstract, like
Just concepts.
concepts and feelings. Like, we bought anger.
Welcome to the Haunted Mansion Complex and our 6 billion happy haunts. Oh my god, do you recognise any, grandmother?
How many of these haunts are David S. Pumpkins?
All of them.
We bought SNL.
And the skeletons are?
Part of it!
And part of it we have been. Segues.
Yay!
Thank you, Billy, John, and Dan, for joining us to chat Venom, and thank you for dragging us essentially to Venom.
I would say come back
welcome.
anytime, but please
Venom, you're here too.
Yes! Of course I'm here. I've been here the whole time.
Oh wow!
Shut up, Venom.
He's been inside us all along.
I've been up your asses.
I knew I could feel something.
Tell us. Well, don't tell us. We bleed no, but tell them where the world can find you on the interwebs and where to look out for stuff.
You can find us at facebook.com. So,
There we go.
Just do a search.
That's not an invitation to just add us on Facebook.
Please don't.
5 Who fans, all one word, the word 5.
Yes.
5 Who Facebook, Twitter at 5WF, YouTube, just type in 5 Who fans, will pop up.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but we bleep out the word shit, so that might offend you. You little snowflake.
Not let the devil in. John's got a parasite.
Should we give our personal Twitter handles at this point, or
Hit me.
I've
Hit me, boy.
got a Lego YouTube channel as well. I do little Lego animations on there, so you can find me there at youtube.com/wellbuilt BILLT. It's
Bill
crack.
T. It's good crack.
Yeah.
I especially like your recent 12th Doctor reacts to the woman who fell to Earth video.
Oh, thank you. There's not going to be any more.
I don't want there to be. I don't want there to be.
That was the
I
last-
think it's a beautiful little...
There are people asking to do it every week, and I'm no. I'm not.
No.
I want you to do it every week.
I need to
Just
have a life outside of it.
production-wise, just make it easy on yourself. Just wiggle a 12th Doctor figure in frame.
I mean, you've
and
already
say
got the
things.
frames.
Yeah, I do.
All you need to do
Is
is
the lip syncing.
Yeah.
and
All you need to
writing.
do then, really, all you want to do
What
is
have we done?
install Adobe Character Animator for the lip sync, and then you're away you go.
Dan, where can we find you?
Well, you can find out everything about Clive Swift at Dan Sherritt01.
Dan Sherritt 01 for the. I warn you now, it's a Clive Swift fan account. It's incredible.
Dan is actually in negotiations to buy the rights to Clive Swift.
What about your primeval content?
Well, hopefully the two will merge.
Swift Evil.
Clive Prime.
I'm pretty sure Clive Prime and Swift Evil are symbiotes from the 90s.
It's prime time for Clive time.
John, where the hell are you on the internet?
I'm in all of the wrong places.
Good.
just type Bowset.
Bowsette. You can catch these three gentlemen in a current weekly series on 5 Who Fans, which is the discussions for Series 11.
Hey, guess who's going to be in this week's episode, which is about Rosen Park?
I can't wait to try not to make jokes that will probably offend some people, even though they're well-meaning.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
Tune in to 5 Who Fans next week to see 4 white boys talk about Rosa Parks.
That's the thing that's going to happen. Of course, myself and Matt, you can find us anytime, Big Damn Cast on Twitter. Please email in bigdamcontact@gmail.com if you want to send us questions and thingamajigs, because we look through the emails and we read them with our eyes.
Yeah.
And
Or
of
more
course,
covers of the theme tune. I'll be off.
that would be lovely. If you've got a cover of the theme tune, go for it. Whatever instrument, just not that one. Not all that one.
Tuba.
Well, Obamabow. Or saxophone.
Look out, she's playing a horn.
God.
I'll show you that in a minute. Sorry.
Oh, context, it still works pretty well.
Until next time, tell peeps about us if you want us to make more things, because if not, we will shrivel and die. And the podcast. We'll see you next week. Right now, here's more of Dan Rawlings' version of the theme. Goodbye.
Venom, gotta know what
Venom.
Edgar Allan Poe,
Jam.
salad jam.
Bye.